Continuing on the custom card review streak, we're going to be talking about an LR EZA Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and it's coming in from Skylar. But before I go and read Skylar's custom cards, send me Dokkan concepts over to bhfcustomcards@gmail.com to get to your Dokkan concept as soon as possible while I'm getting all these recent Dokkan concepts out the way. So the message inside the email says, this EZA might be as crazy as the 7th Annie Part 1 Units EZA. Hope you like it. Absolutely, Skylar. Thank you for sending your custom card. So let's go ahead on over straight into the custom card. Greatest evolution of power, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Leader skill is GT Heroes or full power, 3 key and 170% across the board. An additional 1 key and 30% of the stats goes to Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans. So just off of the first look of this 200% leader skill, you want to be running these guys right next to them just immediately. I mean, you do have Beast Gohan, you do have Tech Broly, you have the Int Broly, you do have the Family Kamehameha Gohan. You do have 4 out of the 6 main headlining 10 tier LRs, but more often than not, you do want to run some of the slot ones just in case you don't get the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku on rotation immediately and you just get unlucky with bad rotations. But yeah, these guys are more often than not going to be their best and get partner just out of the gate. So let's get back on over to the card. All right, so I did not mean to do that. Let me just press it. So the 12 key, that being Spear Shot, 50% defense and 30% attack for 1 turn, as well as greatly lowering the enemy's attack and having a 30% chance to seal. So the 12 key is solid outside of the fact that you do have a chance to seal the enemy, though that's not really ever that good. And the 18 key, that being the Kamehameha, 50% defense for 4 turns and 50% attack for 1 turn, and you greatly lower the enemy's attack and defense for 2 turns. So greatly lowering attack as well as 50% defense is obviously very nice, of course, for those multiple turns. So the 18 key is actually quite solid. And the passive, that being Miraculous Saiyan Fighter at his peak. Let me just go and highlight the entire thing. That way it gets all in the video. Okay, there we go. All right, so 3 key and 170% attack and defense at start turn. He also gets 2 key per keystone obtained, unrestricted. And when attacking with 12 or more key, he gets 40% damage reduction. And he also gets 80% attack and defense when attacking with 18 or more key. And he has a unrestricted 70% chance to crit, as well as a 50% chance of doing an additional super attack after receiving or dodging an attack. And he also gets unrestricted 80% attack, and he gets a restricted 100% defense for 4 turns. And as the first attacker in the turn, no, he gets 100% defense for 4 turns as the first attacker in the turn. No? Huh. That's weird. Why would he get the 100% defense for 4 turns as the 4th attacker in the turn? Unless that's meant to go with the 20% damage reduction, 80% defense, which I would like to assume. Let me go on over to the vanilla Dokkan, of course, quote-unquote pre-EZA of the card. Let me see. So, yeah. The first attacker thing doesn't go with the 4 turns of 100% defense. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. So I didn't misread that. Yeah, so he gets 100% defense for 4 turns, that being restricted, obviously. And as the first attacker in the turn, he gets 80% defense and 20% damage reduction. As the second or third attacker in the turn, he gets guard and a 70% chance of doing an additional super attack. And when he's receiving a super attack, he gets 30% damage reduction. Interesting. So one thing I realized, right? These dashes, yes. So he gets the stats and gets his key. He has that unrestricted 2 key per keystone obtained. He has unrestricted 40% damage reduction. The 80% attack and defense is when you get the 12 or more keys. So I did read that part incorrectly. So yes, for this part of his kit right over here, these are like together. So yeah, when he's attacking with 12 or more key, he gets 80% attack and defense. Okay, so I would say his pre-transformation is really good. Well, not pre-transformation, but his pre-standby. His pre-standby is pretty damn good. Yeah, I would say it's pretty good. 60% damage reduction inside slot 1. As the fight goes on, no, I think he's gonna be fine. I think he'd be fine. Yeah. Yeah, he looks solid. I would say so. What would take him over the top is if he had like guard for like 4 or 5 turns rather than him just having it at the second or third slot. I think that would take him over the top. He is definitely gonna be. Yeah, he's good. He's good. When he takes a super attack, he gets 30% damage reduction temporarily. That's pretty damn good. Wow. Wait, no, this is way better than I thought. Yeah, because he has already 60% damage reduction inside slot 1. No, this is really good. When he takes that super, he's gonna get pushed up to 90% damage reduction when that super hits him. So he's gonna have 90% damage reduction when the super hits him. Wow. Yo, this guy's good. Yeah, this is really fucking good. And if you don't want him inside slot 1, you move him to slot 2 or 3, he has 40% damage reduction with guard. And of course, he's gonna be supering. Yeah, he's good. And he also still gets that damage reduction when he takes super. Yeah, yo, this is... Yeah, yo, his pre-standby is... This is nasty. What the fuck? Alright, so Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Oob. Oh, well, Majoob, excuse me. My bad, Majoob. You deserve a little bit more respect, my guy. So his passive, that being Oob's Resolve, unable to attack, of course, because standby, 500% defense. He's a double orb changer to Int and Rainbow Key Spheres, excluding Int, of course. And for 1 turn from this character's entry turn, 20% damage reduction per Key Sphere obtained, as well as guard with 3 or more Key Spheres obtained, of course, type Key Spheres for both of them. And for 2 turns from this character's entry turn, all allies get 3 key and 100% defense, as well as 10% damage reduction. Very strong. And when receiving an unarmed super attack, he nullifies it. Yeah, that support, as well as that double orb changing to support his damage reduction and guard, that's really good. Really, really good. Damage reduction per key sphere obtained and gets that guard. Wow, that's very strong. Very, very strong defensive support type unit, and very, very strong defensive unit inside of a standby. Yeah. What does he give inside of his little vanilla Dokkan card? Let me just see real quick. He gives only 3 key and 70% defense to all allies. That's still very good. And 10% damage reduction and guards with 3. Yeah, yo, they make him a double orb changer inside the little Dokkan concept. Yeah, yo, this, I really like this idea. Could I see him getting this? Yes, the only thing I don't see that's realistic is the allies getting damage reduction. Everything else I can see, this is realistic outside of the damage reduction. And then this as a whole, I don't think Dokkan gives him 30% damage reduction when he takes a super. His base is uber strong, bro. This is ridiculously strong. And what makes him so damn strong is this. This is crazy because he already has 40% damage reduction unrestricted. And when he sits inside slot 1, he's gonna have that 20% damage reduction. He's at 60. And when he gets supered, he's gonna have 90% damage reduction. He's great, bro. And then the standby, crazy strong. And then we get on over to super full power saying, oh, I did not mean to move that. I did not know I could edit this document. Even though I edited it by accident already during recording. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna go ahead and can we move that? Whatever. Okay, super full power Saiyan for Goku. The 12 key, that being the Dragon Strike Waltz. 50% attack and defense 1 turn, and mastery lowers enemies' attack and defense with a 30% chance to steal. So, like I said before, the 12 key is obviously much more better than it was inside the base, but of course the chance to steal is just pretty much a dud. If we just ignore the chance to steal, this is ridiculously strong with that massively lowering attack and that 50% attack and defense. And the 18 key, that being the 10 times Kamehameha, 100% attack and defense for 5 turns. Crazy, crazy, crazy strong. And disables any reaction once within the turn. So the 18 key super and the 12 key super are obviously both, like, they're both very, very strong. Okay, so the passive, that being unadulterated full power. So what do we have here? Fully recovers HP. Strong, of course, is just a free sensu bean. 7 key and 300% attack and defense at start turn. Very good. 2 key per int or rainbow key sphere obtained, as well as an additional 1 key per type key sphere obtained, excluding int. And he has 45% damage reduction unrestricted. And for 1 turns from character's entry turn, he gets guard. And for 5 turns from character's entry turn, he gets a guaranteed crit. And when attacking with 12 or more key, he gets 170% attack and defense. Very, very strong. And with 18 or more key when attacking, he gets a 70% chance to crit, as well as a 30% chance of launching an additional super attack. And when he's attacking with 24 or more key, he gets 159% attack and as well as a guaranteed crit, and he launches a guaranteed super. So I love that he's rewarded for getting key. I've always loved when LRs have this in their kit. And when receiving an attack or dodging an attack, he gets 177% defense for 5 turns. And as the first attacker in a turn, he gets 100% defense and 30% damage reduction. As the second or third attacker in a turn, he gets guard with 80% defense. So Sensu Bean. Slot 1, this guy is going to be getting, what's that, 75% damage reduction? Wow. So he does lose that ability where if he takes a super, he gets additional damage reduction, but that doesn't matter because he's just gonna have 75% damage reduction. Yes. Um, as well as him getting this ridiculous 18 key super attack. Like, this is just crazy, crazy, crazy. This is a crazy strong 18 key super attack effect modifier. Well, not modifier, effect. Excuse me, 18 key super attack effect. This is very, very strong. Yeah, and this in conjunction with him having that 75% damage reduction, excuse me, this is just crazy. Wow, this he's very strong. But if you set him aside the second slot too, second or third slot, he's gonna have guard and still gonna have some defense as well as 45% damage reduction. Guard 45% damage reduction with defense still inside the second or third slot. First slot, he just has 75% damage reduction. He's strong. What can I say? And on all offensive end, I'm sure he's going to be looking very, very good too, because all you have to do is get him his key to get him that guaranteed crit with that additional just guaranteed super, as well as that 159% attack, bro. He's good. He's good. He's good. I feel as if though there isn't anything you have to do to make him better. Yeah, I feel like there's nothing. I feel like there's no changes that needs to be made. He's very strong. Very, very strong. And it helps him so much that his 18 key super is this. This is crazy. And if he does additional supers, 50% attack defense one turn. Skylar, you went crazy. So base ridiculously strong because of this. Just his standby ridiculously strong because of his entire kit's just very, very strong. And then his his post standby. You get a sensu. You start out with very high stats. You still have Keeper Keiser obtained in both ways. You have up to 75% damage reduction inside the first slot with that guard for that one turn, and inside the second or third slot, he has that guard with that 45% damage reduction. He's very good. And he gets rewarded for getting key. Okay. Send me Dokkan concepts over to bhdevcustomcards@gmail.com to get to your Dokkan concept as soon as possible while I'm getting all these recent Dokkan concepts out the way. Do keep in mind, his best linking partner is who? Let me go on over to this guy. Let's click this guy for fun. Of course it would be himself. These two together. Now, I did overlook the fact that you are most likely going to be running him with this guy and this guy. I said this guy at the beginning of the video, but it's this guy obviously too, because he's activating pretty much all their goddamn links. Could you imagine these two right next to each other with an easy A? Bro, I looked over that at the beginning of the video. I'm crazy, bro. There's no way. I mean, you can still run the Gogeta unit right next to them. That's obviously not a bad option. Let's not get it twisted. But you're most likely going to be running these two right next to each other. So it's like you already have a set rotation. You have this guy with this guy, and then you have this guy with this guy. Or these guys, excuse me, for the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Join the 24/7 Discord server. Link is down below in the description if you guys join today. And that is all. Man, this is a card of the card of the month. Peace.